Have you ever wasted too much time on a simple decision like picking a movie on a streaming site or choosing a meal at a restaurant? It shouldn't be that hard, right? But take Netflix for example. Sometimes I sit there for 20 minutes browsing while telling myself, just pick something and watch it. But instead, I get stuck in this endless loop of trailers and options until I either give up or rewatch something I've seen before. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. In this video, I'll show you why your brain shuts down when faced with too many options and share 6 ways to simplify decisions and avoid mental overload. So let's dive in. We live in a world with more choices than ever, and while we like to believe that more choices mean more freedom, in reality, too many options lead to stress even if you don't notice it right away. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice. The more options we have, the harder it is to decide. A study proved this once in a grocery store. Researchers set up a jam tasting booth alternating between 24 different jam flavors on one day and just 6 flavors on another. Which one do you think sold more? Well, the 6 flavor setup attracted more buyers because too many choices overwhelmed people, causing them to hesitate, struggle to decide, and often walk away without buying anything. And this doesn't just happen in experiments, it basically happens every day. Some choices turn into habits like reaching for the same coffee, even if you don't consciously decide to. It's not that we aren't choosing, it's that our brain is choosing for us, using habits to save energy. But when we're forced to slow down and actually make a decision, especially one we have made before, that's when the pressure builds. Even small choices start to feel heavier than they should, and the more we hesitate, the harder it gets to pick anything. At the same time, every decision we make chips away at our mental energy until we are running on empty. And that's when judgment drops. We start avoiding decision altogether or feel totally overwhelmed. And in that state, you either give up and buy nothing or make a decision you regret. Think about shopping online. Hundreds of brands, styles, and colors pop up. You start scrolling, filtering, comparing, and an hour later, you are still unsure. Maybe you've ordered junk food instead of cooking just because deciding felt like too much. Or you found yourself making a late-night impulse buy, not because you needed it, but because resisting took more effort than clicking buy now. And the reason is, after a long day, your brain isn't looking for the best choice. It's looking for comfort and a quick reward. That one click gives you both minimal effort and a little hit of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, simply from the excitement of what might be coming. It's not about logic, it's about relief. But here's where it gets interesting. Choices don't just overwhelm us, they also excite us. Supermarkets put impulse buys near the checkout for a reason, and Netflix autoplays the next episode before you even reach for the remote. They are not just being helpful, they are counting on the fact that your brain is too tired to think. And now, let's try a quick test together to see how your brain handles choice overload. This part might surprise you, but stick with it. It makes sense in a moment. Imagine you've been out all day and you are starving. You walk into a street food market. The air is filled with mouth-watering smells. Dozens of stalls are lined up, each offering something different, flavorful, fresh, and hard to resist. Now, pick one meal. You have 5 seconds to decide. Are you ready? Easy, right? Okay, you probably pick one quickly. Now, let's do it again. Harder, right? You probably notice it took longer to decide when there were more food choices. That's not you being indecisive. That's your brain trying to process too much at once. Alright, food choices already tripped us up. Now, let's take it one step further. The next one's totally different. Just trust your gut and pick one. How was it? Which one did you pick, or was it a total struggle? What you just felt was choice overload in real time. That split-second struggle when too many options slow you down. Now imagine dozens of moments like that stack up throughout your day. Decisions at work, at home, on your phone, in your head. And when emotions get involved, like choosing something personal or meaningful, it gets even harder. When it builds up too much, it can spiral into what's called decision paralysis, when you feel completely stuck and can't choose anything at all. That's why building better decision habits matters. Now that you've experienced choice overload firsthand, it's time to train our decision-making muscle. Here are 6 practical ways to make choices feel easier and less draining. Number 1. Limit your choices beforehand. Instead of getting lost in endless scrolling on Netflix, try this. Pick a genre, narrow it down to 3 options, and then just go whatever matches your mood. And save the others for another night. It sounds simple, but it saves you from that exhausting cycle of comparing, hesitating, and starting over. Same goes when you are staring at a huge restaurant menu and feeling stuck. Rather than reading every single dish, pause and ask yourself, do I want something light or something hearty? I'm in the mood for meat, seafood, or something veggie. Those 2 questions can cut mental noise in half, and you are not choosing from 40 things anymore. Just a handful, and that makes everything feel light, clearer, and easier. And if you want to make things even smoother, try playing ahead. Meals, outfit routines, taking those little decisions off your plate before the day even starts or one day before can free up so much mental space. One more trick, don't start by asking what you want. Start by crossing off what you don't want. This quickly narrows your choices, making it easier to focus on what actually interests you. Next, the good enough rule. Most of the time, there's no perfect choice, just good options. But our brain loves to chase the best one, even if it means wasting more time and energy than it's worth. Instead, try this. When something checks your main boxes, just say, this is good enough. It might sound like settling, but actually, it's a smart way to protect your time and headspace. Research shows people who go with good enough are often happier than perfection seekers. Because, let's be honest, perfection doesn't really exist, and trying to find it, that's exhausting. Tip number 3. It's one of the simplest. Give yourself a deadline. Next time you're stuck choosing like what to order or what to watch, give yourself 30 seconds. Set a timer, trust your gut, and just go with it. It might sound basic, but it trains your brain to decide faster with less second guessing. Over time, you'll actually feel more confident making choices. And one more thing, when emotions are running high, whether it's stress, pressure, or even excitement, it gets harder to think clearly. That's when a quick break makes all the difference. Step away, clear your head, take a sip of water, then come back to it. Chances are you'll see everything with fresh eyes. Next, tip number 4. Trust your first choice. Your gut instinct is often smarter than you think. It's based on patterns your brain has picked up over time, even if you're not fully aware of them. Think back to a time when you second-guessed yourself and then regretted it. Chances are your first choice was the better one. And the moment you start trusting that instinct, the more confident and decisive you'll become. And if you're still not sure whether to trust your gut, here's a simple trick that works better than it should. Grab a coin. You can pause the video here for a few seconds. Assign one option to heads, the other to tails. Now flip it, but don't focus on the result just yet. Pay attention to what happens inside you, that split-second feeling before the coin even lands. If it's the side you were hoping for, you feel a quite little yes. But if it shows the other one, you feel a little disappointed. And that feeling? That's your answer. The coin didn't make the choice for you. It just helped you hear what your gut was already saying. Funny how a 50-50 toss can bring 100% clarity. I love that. Tip number 5. Value simplicity. Every decision takes energy, even small ones like what to wear, which app to open, or how to apply to a message. All these slowly drain your mental focus. Now multiply that by 50 or 100 small choices a day. No wonder you feel tired before the real decisions even begin. And that's why simplifying your environment isn't just about being tidy, it's a decision strategy. Think about your phone. Unfollow the noise, turn off things, delete apps you never touch. Each one is a tiny decision you no longer have to deal with. Same with your space, like with your wardrobe. Having fewer outfits means fewer decisions in the morning. Or your desk. When it's clean, your brain isn't busy filtering out distractions. You can actually think. The less clutter, digital or physical, the fewer choices your brain has to manage. And that means more mental energy left for what actually matters and helps you make better decisions, especially when it counts. And tip number 6, and probably the one we forgot the most, don't make decisions when you're tired, stressed, or hungry. Sounds obvious, right? But think about it. How many impulse buys or last-minute choices happen just because you didn't have the mental energy to pause? We like to think we are being efficient, but when your energy is low, your judgment slips. You hesitate more, second-guess yourself, or rush into decisions just to get it over with. Instead of forcing clarity when your brain's running on fumes, hit pause. Grab a snack, go for a walk, sleep on it. Even 10 minutes can reset your mental state and shift your perspective. And with a clear mind, the decision that felt impossible suddenly feels obvious. Sometimes the smartest move isn't deciding right now, it's knowing when to wait. And before you go, just remember, They are not just for the small stuff like what to eat or what to watch, they work for the big ones too, like switching careers, making a major financial move, or figuring out what's next in your life. The stakes feel higher, so your brain starts overthinking, second guessing, and trying to predict every outcome. That's when you get stuck. But the same tips still work, even when the pressure's on. Limit your choices, then eliminate what you don't want, set a time limit to avoid overthinking, trust your first instinct, simplify your environment, and most importantly, don't decide when you are drained. These are my 6 tips to help you make decisions with more clarity and less stress. The world is full of endless choices, but the real win? Choosing fewer and better ones. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.